Do you know there are luxury timepieces that make Rolex look like an entry-level option? Today, we're counting down 10 watches that'll make you rethink everything you thought you knew about Rolex. Coming in at number 1 is the Patek Philippe Nautilus 5711 Tiffany. Now, the collaboration between Patek Philippe and Tiffany & Co. created this stunning blue dial that's instantly recognizable. So, what makes this watch better than a Rolex? Well, for starters, only 170 of these watches were ever made. The case is stainless steel with an integrated bracelet that flows seamlessly. At 8.3mm thin, it slides under your shirt cuff like butter. While a standard Rolex date is valued at $10,000, this Nautilus originally retailed for around $52,000. It was even sold at an auction in December 2021 for over $6.5 million. So it wasn't a shock when Leonardo DiCaprio showed up at the 2022 NFC Championship game wearing the iconic Tiffany blue dial. He's now part of an exclusive club of owners that includes big names like Jay-Z and LeBron James. Now, if you thought that was expensive, wait until you see what's next. Serving up at number 2 is the powerhouse of champions. Tennis legend Serena Williams made history when she won a 6th Wimbledon title. But what really caught people's attention was what she wore to the Champions Dinner. On her wrist was the Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Offshore, a watch that screams power and elegance. It features the iconic octagonal bezel held by 8 hexagonal screws that AP is famous for. This isn't a dainty watch, but it's 42mm of pure presence. The tapestry dial pattern is hand guilloché, meaning each tiny square is meticulously crafted by artisans. Inside, you'll find an automatic chronograph movement with all the complications you'd expect from a high-end Swiss watch. The price of this watch starts around $30,000 for steel, but precious metal versions easily hit $80,000 or more. And unlike Rolex, which produces nearly 1 million watches per year, AP makes only about 40,000 annually. That's quite exclusive if you ask me. But if you think AP is exclusive, wait until you meet the brand that's been doing this longer than anyone else. Sliding into number 3 is the Vacheron Constantin. This watch is the oldest continuously operating watch manufacturer in the world, founded in 1755. That's over 100 years before Rolex even existed. The overseas collection is their answer to luxury sports watches, and it's absolutely stunning. The watch has Vacheron's signature Maltese cross logo, which is actually incorporated into the bezel design. In fact, the movement is visible through the sapphire caseback, and every component is finished to Haute Horology standards. That means a level of finishing that Rolex simply doesn't do. More reason Tom Cruise walked the red carpet at the 2023 Australian premiere of Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1 wearing this timepiece. For someone who does his own stunts and flies fighter jets, he chose a watch that combines luxury with serious durability. Meanwhile, prices start around $30,000 for steel models, with precious metal versions climbing past $75,000. Now, Tom Cruise might do dangerous stunts, but this watch survived something even more extreme. Making its way to our 4th spot is the Richard Mille RM Tourbillon. When you think of high-performance watches, you probably imagine something tough, right? But this one takes that idea to a whole new level. The RM2704 was built specifically for tennis legend Rafael Nadal, and he didn't just wear it courtside for a photo op. He wore it while winning his 14th French Open title in 2022. We're talking about a watch that survives the brutal impact of professional tennis serves that reach over 120 miles per hour. This is because the case is made from titer-carb, a composite material used in aerospace. Interestingly, only 50 pieces were made, and each one cost around $1 million. While Rolex makes tool watches for professionals, Richard Mille makes watches that actual professionals wear during their sport. This is engineering taken to an extreme that makes Rolex look old-fashioned. But while Richard Mille went to the court, our next watch went all the way to the moon. Sitting pretty at number 5 is the Omega Speedmaster. Tom Hanks has been photographed wearing his Omega Speedmaster Professional countless times. He wore one in the movie Apollo 13, where he played astronaut Jim Lovell, and he's continued wearing Speedmasters in his personal life. For an actor who's portrayed astronauts and heroes, the Moonwatch is the perfect choice. It has more space history than any other watch in existence. Back in the 1960s, NASA tested multiple watch brands, subjecting them to extreme temperatures, intense vibrations, and pressure changes. Only the Speedmaster survived every single test. Since 1965, it's been the official watch of every NASA manned space mission. At around $6,500, it's actually more affordable than many Rolex models, and the historical significance is priceless. Let's just say Rolex has never been to space, but our Speedmaster has been to the moon 6 times. Now, before we continue, if you're loving these luxury timepieces and want to see more, smash that like button and subscribe. We've got tons of high-end content coming your way, so let's jump to number 6. We have the Jacob & Co. Astronomia. It was first introduced by Jacob & Co. in 2014 and has been a staple in their collection ever since. So while Rolex focuses on precision and reliability, Jacob & Co. asks, what if a watch could be a work of 3-dimensional art? The movement literally rotates in 3 dimensions. Inside the massive domed sapphire crystal, you'll see 4 arms rotating on a central axis, each taking 20 minutes to complete one full rotation. The watch itself is 50mm in diameter. That's about the size of a golf ball on your wrist. And DJ Khaled doesn't seem to mind. He walked the red carpet at the 2022 Oscars in his custom Dolce & Gabbana suit, pairing it with his Jacob & Co. watch covered in diamonds. His version of the Astronomia Tourbillon Baguette is set with 357 triangle-cut diamonds. There are just 18 pieces worldwide, each costing around $1 million. Although DJ Khaled brought the spectacle, coming up next is a watch that was made for a different kind of hero. All the way at number 7 is the Greubel 4-seat GMT Tourbillon. The GMT Tourbillon was originally introduced in 2011 and limited to just 22 pieces worldwide. One of the people who owns this watch is our Iron Man Robert Downey Jr. He wore it at the Los Angeles premiere of Avengers Infinity War in 2018. This wasn't his only Greubel 4C moment. A year later, at the Avengers Endgame handprint ceremony, he wore the double tourbillon 30-degree technique. So what makes this brand of watches so special that our hero was drawn to it twice? Well, for starters, the GMT model has a 43.5mm red gold case that houses a mesmerizing 3-dimensional rotating titanium globe inside. On the dial, you'll see a 24-second tourbillon inclined at a 25-degree angle. Also, every component is hand finished to a level that would make even Rolex jealous. We're talking about hundreds of hours of hand polishing, beveling, and decoration by master watchmakers. This places the price tag at $605,000, making it one of RDJ's most expensive watches. And if you think that's crazy, wait until you hear about this brand that's been the silent genius of the watch world. Climbing up to number 8 is the R. Lange and Söhne. If Rolex is about showing everyone you've made it, R. Lange and Söhne is more about demonstrating that you truly understand horology. You know why? This isn't a brand you see on every street corner. Founded by Ferdinand Adolf Lange in 1845, Lange has a long history of producing some of the most stylish timepieces in horological history. Unfortunately, most people have never even heard of it. But Ed Sheeran is a serious collector. When he posted a YouTube video teasing his 4th studio album Equals, eagle-eyed watch fans immediately spotted it on his wrist. Now, why is the Shape of You artist so glued? Well, first off, his model is the original white gold 2009 release. The case measures 41.9mm in diameter with a thickness of 12.6mm, giving it substantial wrist presence without being it so large. Retailing approximately at $78,000, it's not cheap. However, you can pick one up on the grey market for around $70,000. Now, since Ed Sheeran showed us German precision, let's talk about a Swiss independent that makes Rolex look like it's mass-produced at a shopping mall. Taking our second runner-up position is the Chronometre Bleu Byblos. You've probably heard people say nothing beats a Rolex. Well, that's until you meet the FP Jeune Chronometre Bleu. Now, this isn't your regular luxury timepiece that screams for attention. It's an independent Swiss brand run by Francois-Paul Jeune. This is a guy who literally builds watches for people who think Rolex is too mainstream. For the Chronometre Bleu Byblos, only 99 pieces were ever made, and the Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg owns one. In April 2025, when he appeared on comedian Theo Von's podcast this past weekend, he was spotted wearing the limited edition. The case is made from tantalum, a rare bluish-grey metal. This stuff is so hard to work with that most watchmakers won't even touch it. Inside you'll find FP Jeune's Caliber 1304, a hand-wound movement with twin barrels that delivers a 56-hour power reserve. When it was originally released, the watch sold for under $25,000, but on the secondary market today, it's estimated to be worth around $350,000. And finally, the moment you've been waiting for, the one watch that even Rolex fans bowed down to. We have the Patek Philippe Grandmaster Chime 6300G. This version was launched in 2016 as the second iteration of the Grandmaster Chime. It replaced the yellow gold engraved version from 2014 that celebrated Patek's 175th anniversary. Only about a dozen of these black dial versions were made before Patek discontinued them, and Jay-Z got one for himself. He showed up at Diddy's 50th birthday party at his Los Angeles mansion with this watch, and also wore it again to the 65th Grammy Awards in 2023. Placing it side by side with a Rolex, you'll see that Patek makes mechanical art that pushes the boundaries of what's possible in watchmaking. We're talking about a grand sonnery that chimes the hours and quarters automatically, and a perpetual calendar that tracks day, date, month and leap years until the year 2100. It even took Patek Philippe 8 years to develop this 2020 complication masterpiece. That's why we're not surprised when the price was pegged at $2.2 million. Sure, Rolex has the brand recognition, but these watches have better craftsmanship and some serious street cred. Now, want to see if Rihanna's watch collection is shining bright like a diamond? Go here to our next video and check it out.